Earlier this week, a newly formed group of LGBTQ leaders announced the launch of an LGBTQ plus museum in the city of Boston. It will be named the LGBTQ Museum of Art, History, and Culture. And the museum just registered with the state as a nonprofit, but still needs to raise millions of dollars before it can open its own space. And joining me now is Dolin, who is founder of this initiative. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
So, Jean, what can people expect to see at this museum when it eventually opens?
So people can expect to not just see art, experience art, to learn, to engage, be informed, and be entertained. As you just stated, the name of the museum is actually Boston LGBTQ Plus Museum of Art, History, and Culture. And so we are hoping to engage local artists around the greater Boston area, artists around the state, for exhibits, for programming, speaker series, and all kinds of performance and discipline that falls under the arts. And so that is both creative, that is fine art, that is abstract, that is contemporary, that is photography, and that also includes performance to instrumental performance as well. In addition to the arts piece, to the art side of things, we are looking at how can we create a permanent exhibit that will tell the history of the LGBTQ movement in Massachusetts. As you know, the state of Massachusetts has played a pioneering role in the LGBTQ movement, whether that is healthcare, whether that is access for trans folks, and that whether that is even marriage equality, which we are known for as the first state to have allowed same gender loving marriage to happen. So we are looking, we are exploring, we are having conversation with people what a permanent exhibit would be to tell the history of that, of the state. And then on the cultural front, we are going to be an institution beyond our walls. If and when we get our own space, we don't want to be an institution that just stays where we are. We also want to go to the community and meet them where they are. And so we are hoping to play a role in the culture, in the everyday things that are happening in the city, whether that is the conferences, whether that is other festivals, and whether that is working with other institutions like film festivals, so that we can be part of the cultural movement in the city and also in the state.
Right. As you point out, Massachusetts has led the way in the fight for LGBTQ rights in many ways, the first state to issue same-sex marriage licenses. So what do you think the significance will be of opening a space like this in Massachusetts?
I mean, I think the significance will be great. I will say, when it comes to the arts, when it comes to history, and when it comes to culture, it varies from one person to the next, right? Art is a very individualistic experience from each visitor, each patron, or each artist. And it's also a collective experience when you are experiencing art as a community, or when the art itself is speaking to a community or is telling the collective story of a group, whether that is an identity, lived experience, or a moment in time. So I think this is our hope, the way we are envisioning it, and certainly the strategies we are putting in place, the conversation we are having, the program we are developing. It's going to be an institution that would be at the intersection of both cultural impact and social impact, right? We're not just looking how we can have great art exhibit, great shows, great performances, and great festivals. Also, what role can we play in advancing the economic mobilities for LGBTQ people, for LGBTQ artists? And that is why we are adamant about our thought process to make sure it includes ways in which artists, curators, students can thrive economically through our institution. Right. And so just to give you a basic sense of the impact that we are going to have is really be a cultural institution where residents will enjoy, the statewide will be able to enjoy, and then people will travel all over the country and all over the world to come experience that space. We are going to be an institution that engages people, that entertains people, and that also informs people. And so I think you will feel the impact on an individual level, if you're able to get those testimonies, but also on a really large scale, on a cultural level. I mean, it's literally going to change the cultural landscape of the city of Boston. We don't have that museum as we speak. And now that we are in existence, now that we are going to do this work, I think you will start seeing a much change conversation around what Boston is as a city and who is in Boston, quite frankly.
Right. We're showing, as we're speaking here, I know you were instrumental in Portraits of Pride, the exhibits that were on Boston Common and City Hall Plaza during Pride Month. So it's an example of the kind of artistic pursuit you're going to have as a museum. But of course, fundraising has to be a big focus. What are the fundraising goals to secure a spot for the museum, and how many years are you looking at here before you can officially open, do you think?
Thank you for that. Yes, very proud and very happy with the success of Portraits of Pride, those past two exhibits, October 22 and June 2023. Now that we have launched a much bigger vision, a much bigger venture, and that is going to make space for more artists, more creatives, and more people. We are hoping that everyone will come forward with their resources, with donation. We are hoping to raise, from now to the next 5 years, we are hoping to raise $6 million. And that is the capital that we need as seed funding to get this work started, to launch some of our programmings. Yeah. And I'll tell you quickly, we are going to launch next year. We are going to launch artist development program. We are going to launch curatorial fellowship programs, and working with people that are getting their masters in fine arts to develop them as museum staff, as really cultural bearers. And so we're going to need funding to support these programs and to make sure the folks we are engaging are paid. We are gonna need to have capacity to rent spaces for some of our exhibit, to rent spaces for some of our performances or festival when we launch them, and also to staff it. We are thinking very intentionally to be an institution that can pay its interns and pay people who are doing fellowship with us, because we recognize how historically excluded many LGBTQ people have been, almost everywhere, but certainly in the art space, in the art scene in Boston. And we don't want to further penalize them by not paying them for their work or pay them for their worth. And so we need this $6 million from now through the next 5 years to do this work, to be able to pay people, to build capacity, but certainly throughout the next decades, 10 years and 20 years and 30 years and 40 years and beyond, we will need to raise $100 million to make sure this work is sustained, and that it stays viable, and that we can continue to meet the need of the community.
What's the website if people would like to start to contribute?
The website is bqm.org, www.bqm.org, bostonqueermuseum.org. So if you go on Google, you can log into our website to learn more. You can reach out to us if you would love to join the movement. We are in the early stages of this work, which is exciting. There's opportunity for everyone to engage with questions, with ideas, with commitments, and most importantly, with donation. And so folks can reach out to us. They can use the form in our website to express interest in donating and to join the movement. And I'm excited because of the responses we've gotten so far, the sort of questions we have received so far since it was made news on Monday when we registered. And, we are in the middle of LGBTQ History Month, so I couldn't think of a better time, of a better season, a better period to launch this work. publicly and really welcome every partner that wants to be involved, every artist, every curator, and every other institutions who have resources like spaces. If there are room for collaboration, we certainly welcome those as well.
Jean Dolin, founder of the Boston LGBTQ Plus Museum of Art, History, and Culture. Thanks so much for your time and good luck.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.